So let's talk about why some people just don't follow trends. What if I told you that it has nothing to do with being out of touch and everything to do with having a really strong mind?
Seriously, think about it. It seems like everyone is scrambling for the newest phone, the latest fashion craze, or that next viral dance, and you're just standing still, watching it all go by. Does that sound a little too familiar?
And if that is you, I'm willing to bet you've been called out of touch or maybe a bit old-fashioned. It's the go-to label for anyone who doesn't immediately jump on the bandwagon. But you know what? We're going to flip that idea completely on its head today.
What if this choice, this stillness in a world of frantic motion, has absolutely nothing to do with being behind the times?
What if it's actually a sign of your mental strength? Yeah, this is the big idea we're digging into today, that your refusal to follow the crowd might just be a powerful clue about how your mind works.
Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called value dissonance. And it's not about being different just for the heck of it. It's a real disconnect. What gets the masses excited? Well, it just doesn't light up the same parts of your brain. And here's the key. It's a choice. An unconscious one, maybe, but it's a choice for being authentic over getting applause.
So let's completely reframe this whole conversation. We are shifting away from thinking about this in terms of social status and looking at it for what it really could be, a sign of incredible inner psychological strength.
And what's super interesting is that this isn't some one-size-fits-all thing. Now, turns out there are at least 4 very different, very distinct mindsets that lead to this kind of authentic living. So, you ready? Let's dive in and explore these 4 mindsets. We're going to break them down one by one. And hey, as we go, see if you recognize yourself in any of these.
First up, let's meet the practical grounder. This person is all about what works, what lasts, and what is fundamentally real.
See, the practical grounder trusts their own 2 hands and their own life experience way more than they trust online hype. They're looking for things that are built to last, not things that are just shiny and new. Their whole philosophy is that classic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. These are the folks who learned how to do things by actually doing them, not by watching a quick tutorial video.
And the psychological bedrock for this type? It's self-reliance. It's this deep, powerful ability to trust your own judgment, your own skills, without needing someone else to give you a gold star or tell you you're doing it right.
Okay, next up we have a fascinating one, the internal validator. This person's sense of who they are comes from a completely different place than most people's. For the internal validator, things like likes and shares, they're just noise. They don't matter. Their self-worth is an inside job, built from the ground up. They don't need a trend to give them permission to celebrate life or feel good about themselves. What really fills them up is that feeling of autonomy, of inner peace. That's so much more valuable than the sound of a crowd clapping. And this, well, this lines up perfectly with a really powerful idea in psychology called self-determination theory. It basically says that true, lasting happiness doesn't come from chasing outside rewards. It comes from building a life based on your own choices and inner satisfaction. All right, our third type is the disillusioned observer. Now, don't let the name fool you. This isn't about being bitter or cynical. It's about seeing things with a stunning amount of clarity. The disillusioned observer, they see the wizard behind the curtain. They see the marketing, the hype, the whole game of consumerism. And they get on a deep level that buying the next cool thing isn't going to fix any of life's real problems. It's not bitterness, it's more like being psychologically honest with themselves. They'd much rather spend their energy creating their own story than just sitting back and consuming someone else's. So what's their superpower? Psychologists might call it existential detachment. It's this incredible ability to just step back and watch the parade of society go by without feeling that magnetic pull to jump in. It gives them the freedom to focus on what actually truly matters to them.
And that brings us to our final type, the peace protector. For this person, avoiding trends isn't a statement, it's a form of self-preservation. The peace protector values their own mental peace above, well, pretty much everything. And often, it's because they might just have a more sensitive nervous system. All the noise, the flashing lights, the constant newness of trends, it can feel really loud and overstimulating. It's like trying to think in the middle of a rock concert. So they choose quiet, not because it's empty, but because they understand that silence is actually full of meaning. So let's just pull all that together for a second. We've got 4 totally different mindsets, right? They all end up in the same place, not following trends, but they take completely different roads to get there.
You've got the practical grounder who values what lasts, the internal validator who's all about autonomy, the disillusioned observer who lives for honesty, and the peace protector who guards their tranquility.
Okay, so after laying all that out, there's really only one question left, and it's the most important one. Really think about it for a second. Did one of those just click for you? Did it feel like I was describing you? Maybe you're a mix of a couple of them, that's totally normal. But just recognizing your own pattern, that's the first step to really owning it as a strength.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. In a world that is obsessed with chasing whatever is new, whatever's next, maybe, just maybe, the real value, the real power is found in having the courage to simply stand still and know exactly who you are.